Morning, everybody.
Morning. Hi. Thanks so much for joining us. This is quite exciting, isn't it?
It is exciting.
Look, different background. I've been sorting out the shed, the studio. You know that we've moved work. I haven't moved. I'm still in the same cabin, but we've had a little bit of a sort out. Not finished yet though. Trying to do a Stacey Solomon. Getting rid of 50%. Trying to make some space. I'm getting there, aren't I?
Yeah.
So thanks very much for joining us. We are launching our brand new Vivid inks today. Not only that, we are launching them in new packaging. So dead excited about that. Why did we change packaging? Because when we were shipping abroad, there were issues with slight leakage at altitude, I think. And pressure and stuff. So we have changed the packaging, and we've got a storage solution, and we've got brand new colours. Look at this baby. So stackable, and really cute little drawers. Isn't that cute? So you can keep them in the drawers and you can actually stack them on top and everything. Anyway, let's have a look at the colours, shall we? So we've got primaries, and then we've also got vintage colours. Okay, so we have primary blue. Put it in its little box. Then we have primary yellow. These are really, really bright colours. These are just, if you like bright colours, you're going to love these. Let me put those in the right way around. And then, of course, we have a primary red, which is more like, for mixing, it needs to be a magenta. So that's your primary red, bright red. And then we've got a range of beautiful vintage colours. Look, is that gorgeous? English mustard, olive green. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful olive green. These are just so gorgeous. Woad blue. This is such a lovely colour, woad blue. Then we have raspberry coulis, which is just such a beautiful colour. And then we have tasty turquoise, which is a little bit brighter, I have to admit, but I couldn't resist. I just couldn't resist because it's such a beautiful colour mix. So here we are. So this is the storage solution. So as I say, it's all right for decorating, and when you increase your numbers, you can always stack them one on top of the other, this way and also this way. So whichever way you want to go with it. And thank you very much, Mike Deakin. Good job. Fabulous. These are beautifully designed and I love them. I love the fact that they come in a little, you can pull out the drawer with the puller, which is the lid, and you can keep them in there if you want, and you can actually just take the top off and use them like that. Look at that. Liquid gold. Gorgeous.
I might want to mention the labels.
Yes. So I asked Mike to do a load of labels as well. So this is
They're upside down.
This is a list of all the colours we've actually got, and they are now being sold in these new glass bottles. So these are all the colours that are currently available. So, you know, all the Robin Hood colours, all the My Favourite Things colours, which are the mica ones, are all on there. So, and they will fit perfectly on here. So all you have to do is put them out after you've decorated this, stick them on, and then those will fit on the bottom of the drawers perfectly. So thank you very much for doing those as well. Right, so those come with your kit as well. All right, should we have a look at the colours? Should we go over here? Come on then. Alrighty, so let's have a look at these. So these are the primary colours, all right? And as you can see, they mix really beautifully. They just, and I mean, that's why I've gone for this magenta red, because that's the proper colour for mixing. If you want a true red, go for Will Scarlet. But this is going to mix. Look how bright they are. They're just superb, aren't they? Look at them. And even, you know, really, really watered down. Just the hue is just absolutely delicious. Really gorgeous.
So Sue Skipper's asked, will the new colours be at the pop-up shop on Saturday for Leonie's
yes, they will.
workshop? And yes, they will.
Yes, they definitely will. So those are the beautiful primaries, and I'm loving these vintage colours. I am just so sold on them. Look at that. I mean, isn't that just the most gorgeous colours? All of these samples, by the way, these are what we make on our Dirty Weekend that is travelling around the country. So we've always done Manchester and Leeds, and if you want to book on any, that's if there's any spaces left, we still have Kent, Portsmouth, Exeter, Edinburgh. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, is your mic on? No, it's not.
Is that better? Can you hear me now? I thought you passed it me, already switched on. Can everyone hear me now? There we go. Sorry about that, guys. So yes, if you want to join us on a Dirty Weekend to make all these samples and a little book, you can do. So we are using them for the whole weekend, which is just really fantastic. So we're doing loads and loads of different techniques. So look, just gorgeous, aren't they? So that is English mustard and olive green. Look at how that woad blue and that raspberry coulis just work so well together. They're just really, really gorgeous. So that's those. Let me just show you them individually. Okay, so this is watercolor card. All right, and what I do is I actually write on with the Sharpie on my palette what the colors are, because yes, because it's us, because it's indigo blue, I just have to have an ink that is like 6 times stronger than normal, because I just think I can add water to make it lighter, but you can't add more pigment, can you? Look at that colour, isn't that just gorgeous? So that's your English mustard. This is your olive green. So I have added a wee bit of water to these. Woad blue, look at that blue. So soft, so delicate, typical woad blue that originally was worn by the Picts of northern Scotland. Raspberry it's just so good. And it's tasty turquoise. Okay, so this isn't as vintage, it's a bit brighter, but it just mixes so well with the others. They're just gorgeous. So we've got 5 new vintage colours, which are to die for. And then let's get our primaries out. So these are super, super bright. So primary yellow. Wow, look at that. That is like beautiful. and bright. And then we have our primary red. So you can see what I mean about it being magenta. And then we have our primary blue, which is just to die for. Really, really bright, a lot brighter than any of the other blues that we've got in our range. So these are completely different from all the other colours of inks that we've already got, okay? So if you've already got all the others that all the Robin Hood's ones, then these will be very different to what you've already got, and they mix beautifully and complement each other. So let me just show you. I have stamped Big Butterfly number 2, and I've used a superfine embossing powder to, I stamped it in a black VersaFine, then I've used a clear embossing powder, okay, and I've cut it out. So let me just show you how lovely these colours can be. So you can wet the area where you're going to be working. Okay, just give that a little bit of a wash of water. And then I'm going to start off with that amazing primary yellow. Okay. I wash my brush in between every colour because then I won't contaminate them. So they mix on the paper rather than in the palette. Okay, that's not to stop you being able to mix them in the palette, of course. So let's have a bit of that primary yellow around here as well.
Just go and see what he's on about.
And just pop it in there. And you can see how the water just draws it out. So these are a water-based ink. So they are like a liquid watercolour. And I'm just going to put some little bit of red in here. And a little bit of red in there. A little bit too watery. Let's put a bit more on. And can you see how you just let the water do its job? And of course that will mix. So you could, and then you're going to get these lovely oranges coming through, which are just stunning. So I'm just going to put a little bit more red up here and a little bit up here. And then I'm going to start with my primary blue. Okay, so these are all primary colours I'm using. So I'm going over the black areas. And the reason why I used an embossing glaze was so that the embossing actually resists the watercolour of the ink. And you don't have to worry about any of the lines. And of course these inks are translucent as well, so you don't have to worry about covering up any of the black line work of your stamps. Oh, look at that purple that you get. That is divine, isn't it? So let's just finish that piece off there. And you can see I'm not being accurate with this, I'm just slapping it on. Isn't that just gorgeous? And then this is it dry. So it dries really bright as well. You can see that you get that lovely primary colour. Oh, and in the middle, what I did was I just took a tiny weeny bit of yellow and the teensiest amount of blue. A little bit more yellow. And then I just did green down the centre, down here, because of course they mix perfectly. So let me show you. Okay, so a little bit of primary yellow. Again, I'm cleaning my brush in between. Look at that green. Beautiful. If I add more yellow, you're going to get more of a limey colour. But if I add more of a more blue than yellow.
Lorna's saying you need to put it on a skewer in a plant pot.
Yes. Yeah, that would be nice. You get more of a teal colour. So you can see. And it just, they are, because we buy really nice quality stuff, obviously that's why you're going to get a really good mix with it. And with them being really strong, then you're going to have such a great way of just choosing which way you go with the colours. Look at that. That's gorgeous. So you go from a sort of red to a burnt orange, like a Seville orange, a bit more yellow. It brings out all the peachy colours. And then let's do a little bit of purple to indigo. Oh, look at that colour. Just gorgeous, isn't it? There we go. And then we come on to the purples. Just beautiful, aren't they? Lovely. Let me show you a nice quick one here. So we're releasing these next week as well. These are fab. I love these.
2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. Okay. So, because we're saving the stock for Hachanda, but I will try and get more in. Not Hachanda, Hobby Maker. Where did that come from? Okay. So just a little bit on here. Taking the excess off. I'm not actually looking where I'm going with this. I'm just take off the excess. There we go. So that's a bit of vivid yellow. Let's have a wee bit of vivid red. Lovely. See, they're a lovely sponge on the end and a nice silicone. So, and they don't hold too much ink because I don't like it to be overloaded. And a lot of sponges, they just soak up too much ink. So this is, it just tends to hold the right amount for me. And with it being quite small, and it's nice because it's easy for me to hold as well, with it being, you know, a nice sort of stick. So just take off the excess, but really, to be honest, you just get a little bit with it, which is great.
Louise has asked if you're using watercolour cardstock.
I am using watercolour cardstock. Yeah, I would try your inks on everything that you've got. Don't use it on, I mean, yeah, you can use it on coated, but you're not going to get that effect because it's just going to draw it into the coating. I would use a watercolour cardstock or a cotton rag, you know, which is just lovely. Okay, let me just move my butterfly a minute. But then I'm just going to move those out of the way. And where's my spray gone? There it is, right in front of me. So I'm just going to give it a really, really fine spray. It's all right, Duke doesn't mind the water. He's a water dog, isn't he? So just
Not too
sprayed
keen
that.
on Vivid though.
I wasn't spraying him with Vivid. I was just spraying him with water. He hasn't moved. Bless him. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And this is one that I did earlier. This is one that's dry. Look at that. So can you see how even with loads and loads of water and very little ink, the colours are just gorgeous. If you want to keep them vibrant, then you can do. And then, of course, if you want to do a bit of drippage, this is where you get that lovely overlap. So the yellow to the blue, you get these greens, and then from the blue to the primary red, you get these lovely violet colours here going to purple. Right, and then let me show you some of those vintage colours. So, oh, look at this. Look at those colours. They're gorgeous. So this technique is just wet on wet, which is wet your watercolour card, both sides, put your ink on, and then, in fact, I'll do it. Really simple. Wet your watercolour card, both sides, because then it won't bow. Okay, and then let's get some inks on this. What we're going to do, a bit of raspberry coulis. Ooh.
So Angela's asked about the dabbers. Have you got them in stock?
Well, they're not on the website yet, are they?
No.
I mean, we could put them on.
Yeah.
We'll put them on. Let you guys have them first. A little bit of woad blue. Look at that colour. I just love this woad blue. Just really, really into this. It's such a gorgeous colour.
So what we'll do is we'll send out an email to everybody when they're available and on the website.
Yeah. English mustard. You need to give the yellows a good shake as well. Don't you love how it spiders out like that? I like the way you can just, stand those up on your desk, the ones that you're using. Let's give that a little bit more. Actually, you could just leave that just to set like that, couldn't you? Just move those around a little bit so we get some greens. And then just some rock salt. This is just from one of those bargains. I think it was, is it Pound Stretcher? B&M Bargains? Which one was it we got these from?
I think it was Pound Stretcher.
Yeah. So nice big pieces of rock salt. You can use a finer salt, but you'll get a different effect with it. But I like putting loads on. And then when it dries, you get this beautiful effect where the salt has just soaked up the water and the pigment, so that you get this really lovely effect. Oh, look at that. So this one was the mop up. So it was like what I call the dog's dinner, and it's just mopping up everything over and over again. So it started off with mopping up some primaries, and then I kept mopping up all of the vintage over and over again until it was completely dark. And then I put some rock salt on, but you get a really lovely effect with that, don't you? With the texture of it. So that's always a favourite. So all of the techniques that you know from working with, say, all of your distress inks are going to work with these. Let me just put that out of the way. So also going to show you. Yes, so let me just clean that up. But also, if you like watercolor, and I've only just started doing watercolor, so I did this yesterday, just some pebbles, just trying out all the different colors, and they work so nicely. This is some watercolor card as well. This is our indigo blue watercolor card, and it just works really, really nicely. And here's another rock salt one like that. And if you just want some drippage, this is woad blue and olive green, just dripped on there. This is quite nice. So what I've done is I've put some True Grit on here, True Grit texture paste, okay, this one, through this stencil. I think this is called Small Letters, which is an 8x6-ish stencil. Let that dry, and then let's get some water on here. So on the back and on the front, and seeing as it's here, let's start with a bit of English mustard.
It's called Alpha.
Is it called Alpha? Thank you, Alfie. I'm going to hold this up, and I'm just going to let this drip down. Oh, gorgeous. Has to be woad blue. So I'm just holding it up slightly. Look at that. Fabulous. That's rather good, like that. And I think let's have some olive green. So we are still selling the empty spray bottles, so you can still use your inks in a spray bottle, but I say to everybody, just mix up enough for the day, okay, and just use it for one day and then empty it out and wash it out, okay. So you can still do that, you can still put it in your spray bottles. Doesn't that work nicely? Really like that. Thing just seems to grab hold of that texture paste. Yes, Alfie?
That stencil that you used earlier, what's that called? Because I don't think that's on the website.
It's not released yet. Sorry. I was just playing with it. We'll release it soon. Release it soon. I think in 2 weeks. That's going to be released. Sorry guys, I shouldn't have used that when it's not on the website yet. But I think Mike's done a fabulous job with the storage solution. I really, really think these are so cute. I love the way you can actually just, look, they just hold in there, which is so good. And I think they look really cute just on your desk individually as well, the ones that you're using. Because if you've got a full collection of them all, you just want to bring out a few of the colours, don't you? And then let's move that. And then they just slot in like so. So you can have them like this or on your desk. And then when I get the others, I can just stack them up one on top of the other, or I could have them that way around. And if you wanted, watch, you can turn the drawers round because the drawers are square. So you can have it standing upwards like that. So if you don't want to take up too much desk space, you can have them all going this way round as well, which is great. And also, I think they're really secure for actually taking, you know, on your craft workshops and stuff, because they're really quite secure. They don't wibble around too much. In fact, they don't wibble around at all. So they're really nice and secure as well. It's nice and thick MDF as well. And it just slots and glues together really easily, like all of that MDF. It's in Medite as well. So those are all on the website as well. So I think that's it. Really, really happy with them. As I say, I'm so happy with them. I'm using them on all of the dirty weekends, which everyone's falling in love with them. So as I say, we've done Manchester and Leeds already, and we will be looking forward to seeing you in Kent, the new Portsmouth, which I think is actually full. There is a waiting list. Exeter, Edinburgh, and that's it, isn't it, this time? So yeah. Okay, I'm coming back. Okay, so I'm just reading some of the comments.
It's okay. I asked all the questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. It's really nice to see you all here online, and I really hope that you have a go with the new Vivids. They are beautiful, and the lovely thing is they're very, very versatile. So if you want to, if you like colouring, that's great. If you don't, if you like backgrounds, that's great. They're just really versatile, and like all of our stuff, they're concentrated and they're good quality. So you're really getting great value for money, and the price is fantastic, isn't it? It's a really, really good price for such a quality ink. And one thing I forgot to say was I use it with my dip pens as well. So I use glass dip pens, and they work brilliantly with those. So you can actually use them with all of your calligraphy pens as well.
You might have to do a Facebook Live or something on that.
Yeah, I will. Okay, great to see you all. Thanks ever so much. Give us a like and a thumbs up and a share and all of those. We really appreciate that. And we'll see you very soon. Bye for now.
Bye.